Okay, when using this setup with the helper spring, basically when you do the installation, you have to calculate in that the helper spring is going to compress almost immediately, almost 2 inches. As you can see, the rate on this is really soft, and it compresses completely once the weight of the car is on it. So you definitely have to calculate in that your ride height is going to go almost 2 inches lower if that helper spring is set up just like this without any compression. You can combat that if you don't want as much drop with that helper spring. You can compress that helper spring by moving the main spring upwards, and it will automatically compress it. And as you can see, it can compress pretty considerably. So if you only want an additional, say, inch drop off of that setup, then you can move that spring upwards and achieve just a 1 inch additional drop with that helper, as opposed to the 2 inch when it's completely non-compressed or has no preload at all on it. You can actually remove this setup using a 17mm impact gun. And when you remove that, this assembly top comes completely off. So does the helper spring. And we can tighten it all back together. Okay, and now as you can see, we've illustrated you still have this looseness, and that's you don't want the spring kind of floating around. So all you have to do is move up the bottom mounting perch and make sure that the spring is firmly against the top and the bottom. And this doesn't have to be really tight. It can move around just as long as the spring doesn't move up and down in the assembly. And now we've just taken the same coilover and turned it into the Sport Street without the helper spring. Helper spring can always be re-added back on, obviously, by simply removing the top mounting perch and installing the helper spring again. So we'll do the same thing with the front. And there you have it, 2 different ways to set up your Sport Street coilovers.